A lot of times a narcissist will change, modify, adjust. The difference is change here. Is this piece of an outward shifting, a white knuckling it through. I'll lie less this week. I'll cheat less this week. I'll just do it. I'll just power through. And then they fall back in it, just like I would do. Gonna be better, and fall back in it. The reason why a lot of times I would do better and then fall back in it was simply because I wasn't no contact with the affair partners. I was sitting in therapy and thinking, I don't want to do this. I'm just sick and tired of it. I'm frustrated. I'm annoyed. I'm just done. Like, why do I have to keep doing this? What is even the point? Because nothing seems like it's getting any better. And this is me sitting across from my therapist, just ranting, just venting, just annoyed at life, annoyed at the situation that I was in, annoyed that I was in the situation because I'm the one that got myself in the situation, from lying, from cheating, from abusing, all of these different things. Just pissed off and frustrated because it didn't seem like my life was doing any better. Like, I kept doing different things, I kept changing certain things, but nothing seemed to actually fix it. Still didn't have a connection with my wife. She still didn't seem to respect me. She still didn't seem to trust me. What is the point of this? Why should I even be here? All of these thoughts and more were coursing through my head and coming out really strongly towards my therapist because I was pissed off. I'd been in therapy for a year at that point and still felt like I wasn't seeing actual change. Just felt like I was still trying to just muscle through, trying to just change my mindset and still couldn't figure it out. There's this piece that had me stay with my wife, not because there was this immense amount of love initially. It wasn't this piece of like, oh, she left, I love her so much, let me transform my life. I didn't really care at that point. Instead, I was thinking through, well, if I divorce her, then I'm going to look bad. Then my parents aren't going to like it. The Christian circles I'm in, they're going to shun me. All these kind of things, all these stories that I had that I'd rather protect my image than I would actually anything else. So inside of this place, I'm just thinking and frustrated because I'm like, this isn't working. I'm not getting what I want. The connected relationship, the loving wife, the respectful connection, like intimacy, all this stuff. I was just pissed because I was so focused on me. I was so focused on being selfish about what I wanted. There's a piece of me going to therapy initially and a piece of me that started out going to different pieces of therapy and working on different things that was just out of an obligation. An obligation for my image, an obligation for some of the shit that was already out there, obligation of saying, oh, this is just what I'm supposed to do. This is what I need to do. This is what I have to do. But it wasn't really a piece that I cared about. It was just a piece where I felt like, I guess this is what I have to do. I don't want to. Like, inside of my journey, there's many times that I struggled and I fought with God. Like, we're talking a lot of times. Telling God, I don't want this. I don't want this marriage. I don't want this relationship. I want the affair partner. I want someone else. Because this isn't what I want. This isn't fun. This isn't exciting. This isn't like super love and all this connection. I don't really care. Why do I have to even be here? I hate this. There's literally times where I told my therapist, I hate this. I hate being here. I hate dealing with my wife. I hate all this. The reason why all of this was happening and bubbling up and boiling for so much is because I was changing. Like, wait a second. How does that make sense? I was changing. I was changing what I did. I was changing how I acted. I was changing how I came across. I was changing my different words, changing my tone, changing all different types of me. And it was painful because it was like pulling off different pieces of me, pulling off different pieces of the glued on mask that I'd had on. And I hated it. I didn't like it. But there's this piece of me pulling stuff off of the mask that was painful, as it would rip skin and hair off, as it would actually pull at my soul, and I didn't want to actually do it. And as a result, this piece I began to hate. And I realized that there was a piece of it that I was hating because I was trying to do it to get a result, and I was trying to do it to feel accepted, and I was trying to do it so I wouldn't get rejected, and I was trying to do it so my image would look better, and I was trying to do it for all these reasons. But reasons aren't good enough for change. A lot of times a narcissist will change, modify, adjust. The difference is change here. Is this piece of an outward shifting, a white knuckling it through. I'll lie less this week. I'll cheat less this week. I'll just do it. I'll just power through. And then they fall back in it. Just like I would do. Gonna be better. And fall back in it. Now, the reason why a lot of times I would do better and then fall back in it was simply because I wasn't no contact with the affair partners. Like, how much our life was shit was simply from the fact that after making it aware, after confessing, after saying, hey, this is the person I've been cheating on, she was still in my life for another 10 months. Like, the abuse and the manipulation and the gaslighting was so strong that she was still in my life for another 10 months after I communicated it to my wife. Let's get real here for a moment. She was still at work with me. We still interacted at work. She still would come over to the house with my wife. She would still interact. There'd still be group gatherings with her and my wife. Like, the amount of, like, emotional craziness, the amount of emotional torture on my wife, just from this environment, from this dynamic, from me changing, and, okay, she's just a friend in our life now. She's no longer, like, my lover. She's no longer, like, we're no longer having sex together, so now it's okay for her to be around us. Like, the mental shit that my wife had to go through because of all of this. And the fact that I wasn't changing. Because she would still show up. She'd still flirt. She'd still move over to the corner and flash me really quick. She'd still do all of these things. And I wasn't willing to actually go no contact at that point because I was just changing. I wasn't transforming. Now, the difference inside of transforming is simply the motivation. It is hard because how do you actually rank motivation? How do you actually show motivation? And part of it is you take away all stimuli to that to be able to see what does this person actually have motivation-wise. Some of that had to be going completely no contact with that affair partner. Some of it had to be my wife separating from me for a good period of time. And about no contact. We contact a couple times because of our daughter. Taking away all motivation, taking away all supply, taking away all drive, taking away all pieces of the puzzle. So that I had nothing else to rely on. Except me. I had nothing else to rely on the change and transformation that was going to happen in my life because I couldn't change for anyone else. I couldn't change and modify it for someone else because no one else would see. My wife wouldn't see because she wasn't here. Fair partner wouldn't see because she was gone. The only person that would see any type of change in my life, any type of actual transformation from the inside out was me and God. And the hard part is you're going to take a look and one of the questions that will go through your mind and be like, if we're no contact, how will I know if he changes? Guess what? If you're in contact, you'll never know. Because the simple fact, you'll always modify, adjust, and shift things to be able to get you. Confuse you, keep you stuck, keep you back in the relationship, hoover you back in, all of different pieces. You're going to spend so much time thinking, well, I need to keep the door open in case he magically changes. Okay, how's that been working out for you the past 5 years? Well, I need to keep the door open so that I can help him through this transition, so I can help him work on himself. Guess what? How has that been working the past 5, 10, 15, 20, 35 years? You've been in a romantic relationship with this guy. Guess what? That means you can't help him. You've been in a romantic relationship with a toxic, abusive narcissist that has used and used you and used you and abused you over and over. Guess what? You can't be his savior. You can't fix him. Some of you watching this right now are getting all prickly. You're like, oh, but I think I can. But I don't want to give up. I don't want to admit failure. The failure is not yours to admit or have. Because it's never yours to hold to start off with. Simple fact that you need to understand is when you've been with a narcissist, there's not this piece of going back and then being friends with a narcissist. It doesn't work. It doesn't. Never have seen it work. Not with an actual narcissist, an actual abuser. It doesn't work. He's still going to use and abuse you. He's still going to leverage you. So the reason why I'm talking about change versus transformation, because transformation means you take away all of the motivation for change and you actually see, okay, what are you made of now? This is piece of integrity. This piece of honesty. How is he actually going to show up for himself? When you strip away everything, is he actually willing to grow, change, and develop himself? You take away his house, take away his money, take away his wife, take away his kids, take away everything. Is he willing to actually shift, to transform from the inside out? My wife had to take all those things away. Remove herself, remove her daughter, lose my job, get ready to lose the house. All these things had to be taken away. Was this my rock bottom that made me fix myself, that made me wake up? No, this is what I need you to understand. It wasn't a rock bottom. It was just a piece that had me get very clear of, why do I actually want to do the change? Because she left me when I was in therapy. She left me when I was changing. She left me when I was working on myself. This piece had to come down to the simple fact of, what is my motivation for transformation? Is it actually her? Because if it is, it's going to fail, because she's going to piss me off one day and I'm going to be like, well, forget you. I'm no longer changing for you. And this is what he's done for you multiple times. Are you getting this? I just want you to understand this and feel this, that change versus transformation is a massive topic. It's a massive topic inside of narcissism, and it's a massive topic inside of healing as well. Let's be uncomfortable and let's bring it to you for a moment. You've tried to change and modify different things in your life, but you actually haven't had transformation, because some of the stuff you've been changing has been to fit yourself for him. It's been to make yourself a better prize for him. It's been to get him back or make yourself feel better about yourself. But it's not actually transforming who you are on the inside out, because you're still triggered, you're still controlled, you're still manipulated, you still get hoovered, you still go back, you still feel obsessed, you still feel addicted. That's because the transformation hasn't happened from the inside out. Changing your thought process, changing your mindset, rewiring who you are. Remember, I was frustrated. I was sitting in therapy because I didn't know, how do I actually do this, until I started understanding the rewiring, the mindset piece. I have to change what I believe. I have to change how I think. I have to change how I act. I have to change all this from the inside out, from the heart level, from the head level, connecting both of them together so that I produce a different version of me, because the person that I used to be, I no longer want to be. But I can't do that for another person. I can't do that for any other reason than myself being unsatisfied at the asshole that I was, to become the person that I actually want to be. If you're tired of showing up how you've been showing up, if you're tired of struggling through the healing process, if you're struggling, feeling stuck, and you want to be free, I want to help provide a path from trap to freedom and help you move forward. If you go to rawmotivationscoaching.com, you're going to see that, where I talk about that, where I share that, where I communicate that. So check that out today, rawmotivationscoaching.com, right here, right now, today.